It's actually kind of daunting being in this room. I'm getting all these memories. Like the first time I was ever on a stage, I was with David Pokris. Remember that? About 15, 18 years ago. The first time I ever had a legal drink in a car was with Hank Howey. That's the truth. Hank rented a limo, and he said it was okay to drink. The highlight of my time in the gaming industry was when I told Mike Morhaime that Mike Morhaime's mom, that she raised a good boy. So that's it for history. I got 10 minutes. I can talk for 10 minutes about yesterday's baseball games. Not much. So we kind of know where we've been, and I guess I'm supposed to talk about where we're going. Let me give you a 30-second history of the gaming industry. Somebody figured out how to program a computer and make interactive entertainment. That was pretty cool. And we'd had this 8-bit stuff. And then we had a vision, let's credit Ken Kutaragi, that you could create a gaming console, because people didn't really have PCs. I mean, they exploded in '95, but PS2 was still cheap. PCs were a couple of $1,000 back then. But you had the hardcore guys like Morhaime who were like, no, this isn't real gaming. Real gaming's on a PC, and they made just amazing games. And PC technology kept up. Console technology maybe has caught up. Not really, but we're getting close. And then came the Chinese, and the Chinese were stealing everything. And so somebody had to figure out, how do you monetize in China, because you can't sell your stuff. So some brilliant person invented free-to-play gaming. And the mobile guys went, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do free-to-play gaming in 2007 and beyond. And that's the new big thing. Where are we going? Well, I'm not going to ruin Phil Harrison's fireside chat, but Google's onto something. I'll just say it now. We don't really need a console. We don't really need a PC. We might need a phone. I have to say, this is the most broadly distributed gaming device on the planet. There really are amazing quality games on phones, but this isn't what you do all the time. Phil has something, he'll tell you more about it. Google Stadia is going to allow you to play games without a console. Yeah, we heard about OnLive. I am told this actually works. So what's that mean? No, but what does that mean? And so to think about where the industry's going, I'm going to invite you to think about the movie industry and roll back to the 1940s, right? You want to see a movie in the 1940s, where did you do it? One place, the theater. If you didn't go to a movie theater, you didn't get to see the movie. So we all went, or we didn't, but our grandparents went and they bought tickets. Then TV came along and it scared the crap out of the movie studios. And like, no, we have to create a window. 14 years, by the way. And then you got, channels like American Movie Classics, which is what AMC stands for, Turner Network Television. Then you got the HBOs of the world. So different ways to watch movies on TV. Then you had pay-per-view. You had in the middle of their VHS tapes, remember those, DVDs. You could rent movies, Redbox. You got on-demand suddenly in the 2000s, and that's now ubiquitous. Then we got streaming on demand, Netflix. What happened to studio profits as each one of those new windows emerged? They went up every single time. Actually, until Netflix came along. Now they're not going up because Netflix actually is screwing the studios, and that's brilliant to them, not good for the studios. So Disney's fighting back. But every time a new window came up, the guys who created the content said, we are the value in this value chain. We are what they're selling. And so what happens when Google Stadia comes up? The guys who own the content are going to figure it out. And they're going to figure out how to maximize revenue and profit. And that doesn't mean that Google gets screwed or any consumer gets screwed. That means games reach a whole new audience. And that's what happened when TV came along. That's what happened when pay-per-view, when video rental came along. That's what happened when you had streaming. When you see a box office number now for movies, double it or triple it. And that's the ultimate, they call it ultimate box office for the studio. We are just in the first inning. We're top of the first for video games. This is gonna happen. So I think you can take any game you want. You can take a 20 million unit seller or a 1 million unit seller and double its sales when this gets fully rolled out. Whether it, again, I don't know what Google Stadia's business model is. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, the guys who own the content and control are going to figure out a model. They're going to figure out how to maximize their profit. And that doesn't mean screw the gamer. That means reach somebody who's not a gamer. My favorite example of that is a 40-year-old Italian guy with a demanding job, a wife, and 3 kids who only wants to play FIFA, and he only wants to play it every three or 4 years. He's not going to buy a console. But my God, if Google Stadia is available and it's cheap and it's easy and you plug and play, he'll play FIFA all day long. So I think the future of gaming is expand the market to a ridiculous extent, make it as ubiquitous as the cell phone. Anybody with a screen can play a game, and that's what I'm told Google Stadia will do. And what happens? The content creators are able to sell at least twice as much product, more likely, ultimately, 10 times as much product. And I think it's an exciting place to be. So the only question really is, will the form factor change the type of games made? And that's certainly been the case with mobile. Will people play Google Stadia on their televisions? You know, I don't know. I have 19-year-old kids. They literally sit in a room with a television and watch video on their phone. And I don't understand it. And we're connected. I mean, whatever they're watching, we can get it on our TVs. But they just, that's how they do things. And again, not how I was raised, but that's the new generation. So I think that a lot of the creators in this room and elsewhere are going to come up with ways to exploit this. I think there is a tremendous opportunity. So that's conventional gaming where I think it's going. Then there's the elephant in the room, which is free-to-play gaming that's destroying everything. So if you play Fortnite, you're never playing another game. And if you own any Activision stock, the stock was $85 a year ago. It's $45 now. Why? Because no one's ever playing Call of Duty again. No one's ever going to subscribe to World of Warcraft. They're not going to play Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm. Not going to play Candy Crush because they're all playing Fortnite and now Apex. That is the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard. And the truth is, the people who play Fortnite, let's say 80% of them, don't play other games and didn't before. And what we have is, I'm going to just throw out a number, say 80 million people play Fortnite, 60 million of them didn't play any games before they played Fortnite. That's 60 million new gamers. That is an amazing opportunity. Apex, probably a higher percentage were gamers because it's a harder core game. It's a first-person shooter. It plays like Call of Duty. But my God, what opportunity. So when you see Apex doing, let's just make it up, $500 million, that might only be additive by 100 or 200 million. When you see Fortnite doing $3.5 billion, that's additive by $2.5 billion. That's new money coming into the system, and you should all want a piece of that. You know, and I don't know if I didn't see Mark Green here. He might be here. He doesn't want to. He'll defend his turf with his life. But it's opportunity, and you know, I think it's the same as if you're one of those people who never went to a movie theater ever, but you're addicted to watching Marvel movies, you know, on pay-per-view or VOD or later. You still might be buying an Avengers Endgame ticket. I mean, you really might be. And you know, there's a reason why they think that movie's going to break box office records, because more people are going to see it than any movie ever. Why is that? Because Marvel has expanded its reach to any screen. They're getting people like my kids who will go to the theater to see that movie. So I think, you know, everybody in the room should look at free-to-play gaming as an opportunity, not a threat. They should look at mobile gaming as an opportunity in general, much like I think, you know, television is an opportunity for movie studios. That if, you know, you've seen TV shows be made into movies and vice versa, there's crossover, and some of the content crosses over nicely, some of it does not. I'll recommend a show to you guys on Amazon, Hannah, which is based on a movie called Hannah. The movie did terribly. The TV show's amazing. And it's the same exact story. It's just, it needed more than 2 hours. It needed, you know, 12 to develop. I think you guys are talented like that. I think you guys can create content for any screen, in any setting, under any business model. The key is, the reason people play games is because they like the games. And so if you delight them and entertain them, they're going to keep coming back for more. I have 10 minutes. I got 30 seconds left. Happy to take a question. They told me I had to leave time for Q&A. Otherwise, you have to listen to Phil tell you all about the Stadia business model, which hasn't been announced yet. I'm ready for it, though. All right, thank you very much.